Once upon a time, in a little village, there lived a sweet girl named Little Red Riding Hood. She was called Little Red Riding Hood because she always wore a beautiful red hood that her grandma had made for her. One sunny morning, Little Red Riding Hood's mother asked her to visit her sick grandma, who lived on the other side of the forest. She packed a basket with yummy treats like cookies and fruits for her grandma. Her mother warned her, "Stay on the path, and don't talk to strangers." Little Red Riding Hood set off on her journey, skipping along the path through the woods. She was happy and sang songs as she walked. Meanwhile, a sly wolf spotted Little Red Riding Hood and thought, "Ah, what a tasty-looking girl. I must trick her and have a delicious meal today." The wolf hurried ahead and reached Grandma's house before Little Red Riding Hood. She knocked on the door, and Grandma, who was sick in bed, asked, "Who is it?" The wolf replied in his best imitation of Little Red Riding Hood's voice, "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood. I have brought you some goodies." Hearing this, Grandma opened the door, thinking it was her beloved granddaughter. But as soon as the wolf entered, he gobbled up Grandma and hid in her bed, wearing her nightcap. Soon after, Little Red Riding Hood arrived at Grandma's house. She knocked on the door and called out, "Grandma, it's me, Little Red Riding Hood. I've come to visit you." The wolf, pretending to be Grandma, replied, "Come in, my dear." Little Red Riding Hood entered the house and noticed that something was strange. She said, "Grandma, what big eyes you have." The wolf replied, "All the better to see you with, my dear." Little Red Riding Hood continued, "Grandma, what big ears you have." The wolf replied, "All the better to hear you with, my dear." Getting a little suspicious, Little Red Riding Hood said, "Grandma, what big teeth you have." Then, he jumped out of bed and revealed himself, growling, "All the better to eat you with." Terrified, Little Red Riding Hood screamed and ran out of the house. She darted through the forest, and luckily, a kind woodsman heard her cries and came to her rescue. The woodsman chased the wolf away and saved Little Red Riding Hood and her grandma. From that day on, Little Red Riding Hood remembered her mother's advice and never talked to strangers.